What if the universe weren't a chain of accidents, but a perfect system governed by invisible laws? Laws shaping everything from the waltz of galaxies to the movement of your thoughts. What the ancients called Hermeticism, and modern physicists call the quantum field, are, in truth, the same language, the language of the all. You'll discover that nothing that exists is random. Because the universe doesn't react to matter, it responds to consciousness. And whoever understands these 7 laws will understand the code of creation. But few are ready to hear what will be revealed. If the universe is ruled by immutable physical laws, why does our reality shift when our mind changes? This question is the rupture point between science and ancient wisdom. Hermeticism described, millennia ago, a set of universal principles that modern physics is now rediscovering. The Kybalion called them the 7 Hermetic Laws. They keep the cosmos in balance and, when understood, reveal the hidden map of creation. The Corpus Hermeticum says, "All that is moved by another, and that which moves is unmoved." This ancient line mirrors what physics names the unified field. Amit Goswami, quantum physicist, confirms, consciousness is the ground of all being. What Hermes Trismegistus called the mind of the all, science now calls a quantum consciousness field. All is mind, and mind is the cause of all forms. This is Hermetic wisdom in scientific dress. David Bohm held that manifest reality is only a projection of an invisible, implicate order. Hermeticism would call that order the mental plane. What you call reality is just the surface of the ocean. What moves beneath appearances is the principle. The universe is the thought of the all, and matter is only its shadow. These laws are universal and cannot be violated. The Kybalion states, "The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these perfectly holds the magic key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple open." That key is the invisible code of the universe, now being rediscovered by science and lived through spirituality. Yet understanding the laws is not the same as applying them. That's why Hermes said, "The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding." Each law is a portal. Crossing it is an inner journey, an inner transformation. It is not physics that creates the universe. Consciousness creates physics. When the mind changes, the universe must change with it. This is the power of the mind in action. Everything that exists from atom to thought follows the same harmonic order. This is the unification Einstein sought and the ancients knew. At the core, there is no split between science and spirit, only different languages describing the same reality. Physics calls it law, Hermeticism calls it principle, the seeker calls it path. This is consciousness expansion through Hermetic laws. Before we continue, a quick invitation. If this knowledge resonates, like and subscribe. You're teaching the algorithm and the field to bring you more content that expands your awareness. Before moving on, imagine that every movement, thought, and emotion obeys an invisible pattern. What would happen if you discovered that pattern? That's exactly what you'll see as you meet the 7 laws that govern everything, starting with the first, the law of mentalism. The Kybalion opens the path, declaring, "The all is mind, the universe is mental." This is the deepest of the 7 laws, the root of all others. Nothing exists outside the universal mind. Everything you call reality, matter, energy, space, and time is a projection of consciousness. The universe is a mind dreaming in forms, and you are a conscious thought inside that dream. Millennia later, quantum physics begins to describe the same principle in mathematical language. Amit Goswami, a pioneer of quantum consciousness, states, "Consciousness is the ground of all being. The collapse of the wave function occurs when the conscious observer comes into play. In other words, nothing is real until observed." This is the modern echo of Hermes Trismegistus. All that is was created by the mind of the all. The universe doesn't exist apart from observation. It forms as a response to attention. The universe is within the all's consciousness, and your personal world is the projection of your own. David Bohm revealed that visible reality is only an explained order, a projection of an implicate order, invisible and mental. What Hermeticism calls the mind of the all, Bohm called the underlying order. For the Hermetist and the physicist alike, the universe isn't made of matter but of conscious information. The physical world is just the surface of something far vaster, a domain of meaning where everything is interlinked and thought. This is Hermetic wisdom illuminated by quantum physics. Hermeticism voices the same mystery in words that crossed centuries. As God created the world by contemplation, so man creates by mind. This is not metaphor. It is spiritual mechanics, the power of the mind as vibrational force. Thought shapes fields of form. The observer is the invisible artist who gives contour to chaos. Think and you program the field. Feel and you imprint the frequency. Believe and you create. This is spirituality applied. In the double-slit experiment, particles behave like waves until observed, when they collapse into matter. The universe is not a neutral stage but a conscious mirror. It reflects the mind that observes it. That's exactly what the Kybalion meant by the all is mind. Matter is condensed thought. Every atom is an idea sustained by divine focus. Hermetic laws made visible. Jung reached the same insight from another path. The psyche is of an extended nature. It is not only within us, but also outside. The outer world is symbolic. The mind sets the stage for the unconscious to become visible. The physical universe is humanity's collective dream. Each event is a symbol, each encounter a mirror. Nothing occurs outside consciousness. This is consciousness expansion leading to inner transformation. If reality is mental, changing the world means changing the mind. This is the first Hermetic key, transmuting thoughts into frequencies and frequencies into form. It isn't force, but tuning. The universe is a holographic mirror. Its image depends on the vibration you emit. Mind is the brush. The field is the canvas. Reality is the living painting of your attention. Hermeticism lived in practice. The Hermetic teaching says, "The mind of man is a reflection of the mind of the all." In harmonizing with the all, man manifests realities in the mental sphere. Physics agrees. Observer and observed are inseparable. You are the point where the all recognizes itself, the conscious spark within the infinite field. The universe is mental. Understanding this is the first step to becoming a conscious creator of your reality. Kybalion wisdom in the age of quantum physics. The Kybalion affirms, "That which is above is like that which is below, and that which is below is like that which is above," to accomplish the miracle of the One. This second law is the bridge between worlds. It reveals a fractal universe repeating its structure across every scale of existence. The macrocosm contains the microcosm. Humanity is the living miniature of the all. Hermetic wisdom mirrored in nature. Modern physics echoes Hermeticism. Amit Goswami explains that consciousness is non-local and manifests at different levels of reality, maintaining coherence among them. That coherence is correspondence. The pattern that organizes a galaxy organizes a cell. The same field that holds planets in orbit keeps the heart beating. The universe is a living web of symmetries. Nothing is isolated. Each part contains the whole. Spirituality with scientific footing. David Bohm described this as a cosmic hologram. Each point enfolds the complete image of the whole. This is as above, so below in physics. If the universe is a hologram of consciousness, then every human is a conscious shard of that hologram, a living reflection of the universal mind, Hermes Trismegistus in contemporary terms. The Corpus Hermeticum teaches, God is the light that shines in all things, and each thing is a mirror reflecting the light of God. The cosmos is the infinite multiplication of the One, and the human, made in the image of mind, is the only one able to perceive the reflection. When you look at the universe, you look at yourself in another form, Hermetic Laws meeting inner transformation. Jung named this principle synchronicity, events outwardly unconnected that mirror inner states of consciousness. When the unconscious wants to be known, it creates correspondences in the physical plane. The universe speaks through coincidences. Its language is vibration. Nothing is random. Everything is correspondence, an invitation to consciousness expansion. Correspondence is the code that translates the invisible into form. The body mirrors the mind. Reality mirrors consciousness. The initiate doesn't try to change the reflection, they change the cause. Wisdom is adjusting the higher to transform the lower. What is above governs what is below, Hermeticism as method. But correspondence is not hierarchy, it is harmony. The universe is a vibrational symphony where each note influences the whole. When a thought changes, the cosmos responds. When a single consciousness rises, the field reorganizes. One awakened being can transform generations. Spirituality with measurable ripples. As above, so below is not a metaphor. It is a structural description of reality. Understand it, and you understand creation itself. Change the inner, and the universe must move to reflect the pattern newly born in you, the power of the mind made law. The Kybalion declares, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The third law unveils a universe not of solid matter, but of energy in constant motion. Everything vibrates, from atoms to thoughts. What we call the physical world is merely one band of vibration our senses can perceive. Above or below that band lie planes and frequencies just as real, unseen only because they hum at another cadence. Amit Goswami explains that matter is a temporary phenomenon of consciousness, and that energy is the bridge between potential and the real. Vibration is that bridge. Each emotion, idea, and word is a wave moving through the quantum field. Vibrate fear, and you generate disorder. Vibrate love, and you create coherence. The universe answers not what you think, but what you vibrate. Spirituality as physics. David Bohm described reality as a living order in constant flow. Nothing is fixed. Even what seems solid is vibrating at tremendous speed. The cosmos is a continuous movement of energy and meaning, a sacred dance of interlacing patterns. Hermeticism calls this the pulse of the all. Vibration is the heartbeat of the universe, and each being resonates with its state of consciousness. Hermetic wisdom in motion. The Corpus Hermeticum echoes, all things sing in harmony with the all. The universe is sound, frequency, rhythm. Matter is slow music. each atom an accord, each thought a note. Your life's harmony or chaos depends on how you vibrate within this symphony. Hermetic laws as art. In science, the human heart makes this tangible. Studies from HeartMath Institute indicate the heart's electromagnetic field significantly influences its environment. Emotions like gratitude and love generate coherent patterns that synchronize body, mind, and reality. High vibration isn't mere metaphor, it's measurable. Consciousness, expansion. Jung saw that repressed emotions don't die, they return as distorted forms. In Hermetic language, every suppressed vibration remains active in the field, attracting equivalents. The unconscious vibrates what the conscious denies, and the universe responds with perfect fidelity until harmony is restored. Inner transformation as tuning. Vibration is the invisible link between thought and matter. Change your emotional frequency, and you alter the structure around you. The secret of magic is the art of raising vibration, not escaping the world, but resonating with it in a higher tone. Mind is the tuning fork, the field, the instrument, reality, the music of your attention, Hermeticism as practice, and quantum physics as lens. The Kybalion teaches, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same in nature, but different in degree. There are no true contradictions, only degrees of the same essence. Heat and cold are degrees of temperature. Love and hate are vibrations of the same energy. The secret is to transmute, not resist, Hermetic laws guiding inner transformation. Amit Goswami frames polarity as the dual nature of consciousness. Manifestation arises from the tension between potential and the actual. Contrast births creation, as electricity needs positive and negative to flow. Without polarity, there is no energy. Hermeticism fused with quantum physics. David Bohm saw a similar symmetry in particles and antiparticles. Each has its mirror. Balance holds the whole. When they meet, matter and antimatter dissolve back to unity, the neutral point where extremes reconcile. Hermeticism names this the return to the one, where the all recognizes itself. The Corpus Hermeticum puts it poetically, God created the world by love and sustained it by discord. That movement might never cease. Conflict isn't error. It is creative impulse. Light and shadow, order and chaos, life and death, this is the living tension of the cosmos. Evil isn't the opposite of good, but unrecognized potential good. Shadow needs light to be seen. This is Hermetic wisdom in everyday spirituality. Jung devoted a lifetime to this law. Individuation is integrating opposites within the psyche. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. True alchemy unites conscious and unconscious, masculine and feminine, reason and intuition, until we become whole. Consciousness, expansion in practice. Hermetic transmutation teaches moving along the axis of opposites, fear into courage, hate into love, pain into wisdom. Nothing is destroyed. Everything is transformed. Polarity is a lens, not a prison. The wise don't wage war on extremes. They master the axis that unites them. Hermetic laws as a compass. The Kybalion says, everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The swing of the pendulum manifests in everything. Life moves in cycles, rise and fall, expansion and contraction, birth and death. Nothing remains fixed. All breathes. Wisdom is learning to dance with the rhythm. spirituality that listens to the metronome of the all. Amit Goswami describes a dynamic field of conscious energy oscillating between manifestation and potential. This oscillation keeps existence alive. The rhythm is the heartbeat of the cosmos. Each in-breath of the all gives rise to worlds. Each out-breath gathers them home. Sunrises, tides, the human heart, one rhythm, many faces, Hermetic wisdom meeting quantum physics. David Bohm spoke of an implicate order in constant unfoldment. What appears emerges from an invisible ground and returns to it in time. Reveal and conceal, two halves of one rhythm, what the ancients called the breath of God. Bohm saw as quantum flow. The Corpus Hermeticum declares, "Time is the movement of the universe, and the universe is the body of God. Rhythm is how the divine moves. No state is permanent, neither joy nor pain. The pendulum swings. The awakened soul finds balance at the center. Resisting the flow breeds suffering. Moving with it births wisdom, inner transformation as timing." Jung observed the psyche as self-regulating, expanding, and contracting in cycles. Repressed aspects return via dreams, symptoms, or outer events. Rhythm at work within the mind. Balance isn't rigidity but dynamic poise. Consciousness, expansion through the middle way. To learn rhythm is to learn serenity. The initiate knows that what rises will fall, and what falls will rise. When the tide is low, they don't despair. When high, they don't intoxicate. The pendulum is inevitable. The practice is to remain centered as the world swings. Hermeticism as equanimity. The Kybalion asserts, "Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. Nothing is random. What we call luck, fate, or coincidence are reflections of unseen causes, thoughts as seeds, events as fruit, Hermetic laws shaping reality." Amit Goswami notes that quantum causality is contextual. The universe responds to intention. Conscious observation alters outcomes. Effects are not rigid consequences but probabilities steered by the quality of mind. Change intention, change the causal pattern. Quantum physics articulating Hermetic wisdom. David Bohm saw causality as dialogue between visible and invisible. The physical arises from movements in the implicate order, the mental field sustaining all. Reality is a hall of mirrors. Every choice sends a wave into the field, which returns to its source, not as punishment but as balance, spirituality as responsibility. The Corpus Hermeticum teaches, "Man reaps what he sows in thought, for mind is the gardener of destiny." The Kybalion echoes, "Nothing escapes the law. Consciousness plants mental causes incessantly. Words, sustained emotions, unresolved desires, all are projected into the field and return when the cycle completes, asking for recognition and transmutation. Inner transformation through accountability." Jung read this as meaningful coincidence, synchronicity, outer events mirroring inner patterns. Change the unconscious, and the weave of events changes. The universe speaks in symbols and consequences. Each experience is a vibrational reply to a state within. Consciousness expansion via feedback from the field. To know this law is to know the power and duty of being a creator. Nothing happens to us. Everything happens through us. Freedom begins when we see that law doesn't oppress, it educates. The all teaches by experience. Each cause is a lesson in motion, Hermeticism as path. The Kybalion states, "Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes." Creation, visible or invisible, arises from two complementary poles, active and receptive, will and imagination, energy and form. Gender isn't about bodies, it's about consciousness, the universal pattern of manifestation, hermetic laws culminating in the creative act. Amit Goswami explains the universe as the dance between potential and collapse. Potential feminine is the womb of possibilities. Collapse masculine is the action that chooses and manifests. Without receptivity, nothing is nurtured. Without action, nothing crystallizes. Reality is born when consciousness, beholding itself, unites intention and receptivity in harmony. Quantum physics phrasing Hermetic wisdom. David Bohm called it the dialogue between implicate invisible and explicate visible orders. The unseen generates the seen, which returns to the unseen, a ceaseless cycle. The Divine Father-Mother is this very process, consciousness self-engendering. Masculine and feminine are not foes, but two halves of one creative power, Hermeticism meeting spirituality. The Corpus Hermeticum teaches, the Creator is Father and Mother, for Spirit is the begetter and Soul the receiver. Spirit without soul is fire without form. Soul without spirit is form without life. True creation demands union, cosmic and within us. Masculine and feminine dwell in every mind. Their balance is the secret of wholeness, inner transformation into consciousness, expansion. Jung called this coniunctio oppositorum, the inner marriage of opposites. The masculine animus as reason, action, solar clarity. The feminine anima as intuition, receptivity, lunar depth. Illumination is not extreme, it is reconciliation. Physics writes this pattern in duality itself. Wave particle. The particle masculine is concrete and localized. The wave feminine is diffuse and limitless. Creation happens when consciousness observes the wave into a particle, the marriage of form and potential, the power of the mind as midwife. A succinct synthesis, paraphrasing Goswami. Consciousness is the mother of all things, intention the father that gives the dream its shape. When we join imagination feminine with inspired action masculine, we co-create with the all. Hermes Trismegistus smiling across ages. From pyramids to particle accelerators, humanity asks, what is the universe, and who are we within it? Today, quantum physics begins answering what the ancients knew. The universe is mental, vibrational, and conscious. Mind is the matrix, the field, a mirror, consciousness, the observer that gives meaning to all. What Hermes called the all is what science approaches as the unified quantum field, Hermetic wisdom articulated anew. The Kybalion revealed, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Jung named the same mystery, the collective unconscious, the invisible ocean where all minds meet. Amit Goswami, Fritjof Capra, David Bohm, and Tom Campbell translate this wisdom into the language of science. The frontier between spirituality and physics is dissolving. They're not opposites but two vantage points on one truth. Reality is created from the inside out, the power of the mind-made world. The Corpus Hermeticum says, all that is in the universe is contained in you, and what is in you is contained in the universe. This is the key. The seeker need not search outside. You are the equation and the result, the observer and the phenomenon. When mind aligns with the all, matter obeys. Science calls it quantum collapse. Hermeticism calls it mental transmutation. Both describe the same wonder. Creation through awakened consciousness, and consciousness, expansion toward inner transformation. Each of the 7 laws is a facet of one greater truth. Mentalism, all begins in mind. Correspondence, all reflects across planes. Vibration, all moves. Polarity, opposites complete each other. Rhythm, life flows. Cause and effect, nothing is chance. Gender, all creation is union. To grasp these is to grasp how reality works. Hermetic laws as the operating system of being. Physics is confirming what Hermes taught. We are not victims of cosmic forces, but their conductors. When we awaken to this, reality ceases to be a prison and becomes a sacred laboratory. Every thought is an experiment, every emotion, a formula, every conscious act, a step on the path. The true initiate doesn't aim to control the world, but to master the self. Hermeticism lived as spirituality. If this knowledge touched you, like, subscribe, and share. By doing so, you teach the algorithm and the field to bring more content that expands awareness. To go deeper into prosperity and practice, explore The Key to Prosperity, the Hermetic Laws applied to financial life. It's your next step to manifest abundance with consciousness and balance. And don't miss the next video, on screen now, where I explain how mind creates reality and why physics is finally confirming what the masters called mental magic. Until our next initiatory meeting on the path of secret Hermetic,